Hey, my creative souls! Today we are transforming Dollar Tree items into stunning DIY Easter and spring decor. Let's get crafting. For this project, I'll be using this set of spoons that I got from Dollar Tree. We're going to be painting some faces onto it using one of these felt tip markers from Dollar Tree. I started by creating the eyes by just creating two ovals next to each other, filling them in. And then for the nose, I'll be doing like a triangle with the corners rounded. Then starting from the center of the nose, we're going to create two C shapes starting from the center, form them out. And then I took a little bit of white chalk paint, placed it on my table, and I'm going to dip the back of a pen on it and then use that paint to create the white of the eyes. I'm going to put the bunnies to the side to dry. Meanwhile, we are going to create some ears. To do that, I'll be utilizing some of this ribbon from Dollar Tree. I first created one shape. This was my trial one. I wanted to see how it will show up if I didn't, trace it before. So I liked how it turned out. So I'm going to place it over another section of the same ribbon and use it as a template to create a second one. Going forward, I doubled up the rest of the ribbons that I'm using next. And I just created both of my ears at the same time. And this is how they ended up so far. We are going to repeat the same process with this ribbon right here from the baby section of Dollar Tree, this ribbon from the Easter section of Dollar Tree, and this other ribbon also from the Easter section of Dollar Tree. And this is what they turned out as I was done with them. Now it's time to attach it. I'm going to scrunch them in the bottom and add a little bit of hot glue in the middle of those scrunch areas and hold them in place until they are adhered, being careful not to burn myself. Once I was happy with my ear, I am adding hot glue to that bottom section and I'm gluing it on the back of my spoon. And I repeated the same process with the other ear as well. And what I did with this process, I'm going to do it with the rest of the ears to complete all four of them. But a quick tip that I want to leave with you is when you create these ears, go ahead and burn off the edges of your ribbon to avoid any fraying. And this truly helps, and sometimes it curls the fabric a little more, further enhancing the shape of the ears. And then I glue them on just as I did with the rest. To dress this up a little better, I took some of this ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm going to create a small bow. For this one, I'm just going to do an awareness bow and take a piece of twine and tie it in the middle, and then just glue it there to the area where the spoon starts thinning out. And I repeated that with all the rest of the spoons, but using different colors. And look how cute these are turning out so far. Now we are going to give these a little bit more detail. I didn't like how much white I had in the eyes here. So I'm coming in with some of this marker from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm going to just close out some of that white by filling in the sides. And then I'm adding some eyebrows and some eyelashes to each one of these bunnies. I absolutely love how each one of these have their own personality. This one got some eyelashes, but a little bit shorter, and some eyebrows. And look how cute. Oh, forgot the eyebrows there. Now we're going to add some whiskers. For this one, I'm using some Sharpies that I have in pastel colors. I'm just going to add some right onto the nose section. You can barely see them on here, but trust me, you can see the color much better in person. For this one, I'm using this orange markers from Dollar Tree for its whiskers. Now I'm going to use this container that I got. I think my aunt got me this. It came from something that she had and she didn't need it, so she gave it to me because she knew I was going to do something with it. Anyhow, I'm going to take my spoons and add them to the pan after I added some floral foam to the bottom. And I'm just trying to put them together as a cute little family. Now we're going to use these florals from Dollar Tree, and it's going to take them into individual pieces. I'm going to add the yellow ones to the background behind my spoons. Then I will be incorporating the other two picks. I ended up using the rosemary ones more towards the bottom. So I'm going to cut them into individual pieces, add them all around. Here, guys, I am no florist. I just kept adding them here and there until I thought that they looked balanced and I was happy with what it looked like, and trying to mix in different textures and different colors as best as I can so it would look like a natural flower bed where these bunnies are hanging out at. I ended up using just one of the bunches that I had there to the left. Then I took these florals, I think they are dahlias, no, peonies, I'm sorry, peonies from Dollar Tree in the color blue and the color pink. I'm going to start with the blue. I'm going to add it in both sides of the family and one at the center in the front. Then I came in with the pink ones, and for the pink ones, I'm going to add them to the back and one in the middle of the family as well. I thought that these just brought it into life. It just, I don't know, it gave it such a beautiful and cheerful pop of color that I just absolutely fell in love with this. It's looking so beautiful, but I'm not done yet. I thought that I needed to dress up the pan a little bit, so I took this ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to the tip, and then I'm going to use that line at the center as a guide. I'm going to wrap the ribbon, adding hot glue in certain intervals until I go all the way around the entire pan. Once I got here to the end, I made sure that that was nicely lined up with the other piece, and we're going to glue it right there. Then I created a bow using the same ribbon, and I'm going to glue that bow to this section right there where the two ribbons meet. And that is it for this beautiful piece. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this one? All right, come and see what I got for your next inspiration. I'm going to use this clay pot that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm painting it white with my Folk Art white paint. Then I'm going to take some floral foam and glue it to the bottom of the pot. Next, I took a variety of different carrots that I had laying around. Some came in a garland and some came in a package. And I'm going to remove those stems off of it and replace it with the greenery from that pick right there that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take all the pieces off as you see there individually, and then take anything rigid. I'm using that pick leftover from Dollar Tree. You can use a skewer to punch a hole, add some hot glue into that hole, and then position the stem into that. As you see here, I'm just trimming it off. I didn't want the stems to be too long, so I love this size right here. But don't throw away those pieces that we cut off, because we're going to do the same thing with the other pick. We're going to press that hole in with any wire or any skewer or anything you can find to just bore a hole in there. Add that hot glue into that hole, and we are going to put together those two pieces of greenery that we took off from the previous one to create the stem for this one. And I repeated the same process with all of these carrots until I was completely done with them. I used a total of, I believe, 9 carrots to do this. Now we are going to glue the carrots all along the outside of the pot. I'm trying to keep them close together, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I have all the space covered when I'm done, that I don't have any gaps in between the carrots. So you see me here doing that, and here it is all covered up. And of course, I'm going to burn off the fuzzies. Next, we're going to take one of these, actually 3 of these bunnies from Dollar Tree. I wanted my bunny to be thicker, so I'm taking some wood glue and I'm adding it all along one of the bunnies, then adding a second bunny on top of it, then adding more hot glue, adding more wood glue to the second bunny and adding the third bunny on top. I'm going to use some clamps that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to let this bunny sit overnight. Just make sure that all your edges match up, so when you're done, it looks like just one bunny that was always this thick. All right, now we are going to embellish it with this plate from Dollar Tree. I love, love, love this print. I couldn't find it on napkins, so I said, you know what? We can use the cardboard from the plate. Why not, right? So I'm going to add some of the same wood glue to the surface, and I'm going to place my plate right on there. But just make sure that your flowers are in the right direction, because as you see there, I almost did it backwards. Then using my X-Acto knife, I'm going to cut off all the excess paper plate. Next, we're going to take a skewer, and this is just a skewer from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut off a section that I'm going to use to stick onto my floral foam, and I'm going to glue this skewer on the back of my bunny. I'm just going to use hot glue to do that. Once I positioned the skewer, I took some more hot glue and put it over the skewer to seal everything in. Then I took some reindeer moss from Dollar Tree. If you see there, it's kind of crispy. It's been in there for a while. So I'm just breaking it apart so it will be nice and distributed so it doesn't look like a big chunk of reindeer moss. Then I'm cleaning it up because you know that floral foam, that floral moss makes a mess. And then I'm going to add my bunny right there in the middle. And then add some of this Spanish moss from Dollar Tree. Guys, I don't know. I have not been able to find floral, actually, no, floral moss I found. Spanish moss from Dollar Tree in over a year. Are you guys experiencing the same problem with your Dollar Trees? Let me know in the comments. All right, then I took these two little eggs that I have painted for a previous DIY but did not use and threw them in there. And that is it for this piece. Let me know, what do you think about this one? For our next inspiration, I will be using one of these tinsel baskets that I got from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to remove all the tinsel from it, going by each section. Just got to make sure to find the edge of each color and unravel. And this is what it looked like when it was all done. I saved the Easter letter in there, but I'm not going to use it. Here I'm taking this burlap that I've got from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to fold the edge as you see there. And at this point, I'm measuring to see exactly how much of the burlap I will need to cover this section of the basket. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut off that section. Then I thought I was going to use the little prongs or the little pieces that are sticking out there that were holding the tinsel in place, but it just wasn't working out. So I'm going to use my snips and snip them all off. Then I'm positioning my burlap exactly where I want it. And I'm going to start adding hot glue on the plastic frame and adding the burlap fabric right on top of it. Here, please be careful because it's not if that hot glue is going to go through that burlap, is when, and you will burn yourself. So just make sure to use your finger protection. You got to hold this in place until the glue dries. And I did the same thing on the other side, making sure that my fabric is nicely taut. Then I went down through the entire silhouette of the basket, making sure again to pull the edges taut so you're able to still see that shape the basket had. And once again, I'm going to hold that basket in place with that shape in mind as I'm pulling and holding and pulling at the same time because I want that curvature to remain on the basket. And I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. If you're still with me this far into the video, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you hit that like button. Go ahead and let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. I'd love to know how far my reviews are reaching. And make sure to share this with someone who will enjoy it as much as you do. Thank you so much. All right, so here I'm just folding the bottom section as you see there, making sure that the edges are inside so they don't spill out on the sides of the basket. And I just adding hot glue in the bottom section as well so we don't have a flap on the back. But I'm adding the hot glue only on the plastic frame and then pressing the burlap on it. Next, I'm using some of this rope that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to add some hot glue to the tip before I remove the tape so this does not unravel. Then I glue the first piece of rope on the back of the basket, being very close to the burlap. I'm just going to loop it right there, putting a generous amount of hot glue, holding it in place until that hot glue sets. Then I'm going to begin wrapping this around the entire egg and going up to the handle of the basket. Here, I'm also going to be removing the pegs as I go along. I thought maybe they were going to be helping me as I was wrapping this, but it did not work out that way. So once you remove all that tinsel, you can go ahead and remove all those prongs because we are not going to use them for this DIY. Here, in order to keep my fabric, or actually my rope, together, I'm adding a little bit of hot glue in between when I do each revolution. Since the egg is going from bigger to smaller, the rope wants to slide upward. So I'm adding the hot glue to avoid that from happening and having that rope be nice and close to each other. And as you see here, I've been having to remove the pegs as I go up. So it will be a lot easier if you just remove them all at once. And here is our handle fully covered. I wasn't sure yet if I was going to use that middle egg or not. So I kept it there for now, but burned off all my fuzzies. Then I took a piece of felt that I got from Dollar Tree in a pack, as you see there, and I'm going to use this blue one. I added hot glue on the entire perimeter of the bottom of the basket, making sure to not have it seen on the other side. And then I lined up the edge of my felt with the edge of the basket as well there and pressed it until it dried. Then I took my X-Acto knife and removed the excess. Well, this is the moment that I decided I did not want that egg there, so I'm going to take my snips and cut it right off. Then I'm going to take these flowers that I got from Dollar Tree. They are peonies, and even though I cut the stems here off, I ended up just cutting the flower right off at the stem, removing also the leaves and cutting that plastic piece that goes in the bottom and gluing the flowers directly onto the side. As you see there, I'm going to add a generous amount to that plastic piece and then position it on the side. And what I did is that I nestled the pink in between of two blues. Then I took the leaves. I'm going to remove the plastic piece from the bottom. I added hot glue right there in the inside at the base of it, glued them together but offset them to the side, then added some hot glue to the base of those leaves and tucked them underneath where all three of the flowers joined together. Then I repeated the same process with two other leaves. I put one underneath of the blue flower to the right and one at the top section closest to the handle of the basket. And look how cute this is looking already, but I'm not done yet. We're going to take some twine. I wanted to cover that plastic that's in between the front and the back. You remember where that egg, where I cut off that middle egg? That you can see it. So I took 3 strands of this jute cord. I got this from Walmart. And I'm going to create a braid. So I'm going to be braiding this all the way down. And this braid is going to be for 2 different things. Hold on a second and you'll see. As I'm braiding, I'm making sure to stay consistent with how tight this braid is. I want it to be malleable, so I'm being very careful there. Once I got all the way to the bottom, I'm going to take a little bit of the twine and add it to the end so it doesn't unravel. So I'm just going to hold it in place, add a little bit of hot glue at the last section of where the braid stopped, and then add a piece of twine around it and cut the excess off. And what I did to the bottom, I did to the top. And then I burned off the fuzzies. Here you can clearly see the plastic I was talking about that I needed to camouflage. So I just added hot glue right there in the beginning of the jute cord, and on top of the plastic, I added that little knot at the front there. On top of the jute cord, I put the frayed pieces, then added the rest of that braid over it, and I just kept adding a little bit of hot glue along and then adding the braid on top of it until that whole section was completely covered. And then I trimmed off the excess. As I cut the braid, the end started to fray also, so I'm just going to go ahead and tack down that edge, but making sure that that braid stays intact as I'm gluing it to the other side of the handle. For the leftover piece, I frayed the edges completely on here, then added some twine alongside that edge as well, but I'm going to do 2 loops as I wrap this around it and then cut off the excess. And I added an extra loop to the other side as well, so they will both be even. And trimmed off the edges of the tassels, because now they are tassels. I'm going to trim off the edges to make it nice and neat. Next, I folded it in the middle, as you see there, and added some hot glue on the fold. And I'm going to tuck it in between both of the leaves and underneath of the flowers. Then I took one of these tags from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take it and paint it with some of my folk art white chalk paint. I'm just giving it a messy coat, being mostly solid in the middle and kind of light on the edges. Next, I took a pink Sharpie that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hand letter the word Happy Easter. For the happy, I'm using cursive, as you see there. And for the Easter, I'm going to be using more of a print. And I'm enhancing this with a couple dots on the edges as well. Friend, if you're still with me this far into the video, thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate you. leave me a flower emoji in the comments so I'm able to give you a big thank you. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time that I upload a new video. All these things are free and they mean the world to me. Thank you so much. I want the design to look a little distressed, so I watered down some of my Waverly Antique Wax and I'm just going to add it on to the sign as you see there. I was a little bit nervous. I didn't want that ink to run, but it didn't. I just kept building it on until it came to the amount of distressing that I wanted. In between distressing, I did have to come in with a different marker just so you were able to read the Happy Easter better. So I'm using this gel pen that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just passing over all the entire letters so you're able to read it better. Even though this gel pen did a good job, I wanted it to be wider. So I used this marker from Dollar Tree to come back over it one more time over all of the lettering. I liked how it turned out here, but I wanted to distress it a bit. So I'm going to take some of my antique wax, water down, and add it along the entire perimeter of this circle. And then once my brush had very little of that antique wax, I'm going to go over the white section as well to age it out. And after I did this process, I just kept building it until I was happy with the amount of distressing that this had. And I also distressed the twine that came with it. And then we are going to glue this right here in between the flowers. So it will be sticking out as you see there. Add a little bit of hot glue, pressed it down, make sure that it stayed nice and put. And that is it for this one. Let me know what you think. And here is the final reveal. Don't forget to let me know which one at today's project is your favorite. My friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you would like to watch some more of my videos, here's a suggestion. And go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so yet. Thank you so much. You are awesome. Bye.